Day 7 of the Arizona Cardinals training camp now in the books. Let's recap. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. If you're a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. Right now we're covering training camp. Next week is going to be preseason, and of course, once preseason's done, we're talking about regular season football for the Arizona Cardinals. So you do not want to miss any uploads. Make sure you have your post notification bell on as well, just so you're aware when we drop the next video or when we go live. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's go ahead and recap day 7 of the Arizona Cardinals training camp. Now, it all started here with Jonathan Gannon coming out and saying that there was some players that had some nicks and bruises from the start of this week's training camp, because it's the official time of pads being on, and of course real football is now starting to kind of get closer and closer to the physicality of what football is. Right now, last week there wasn't pads on. This week the pads actually came on. Now the pads were on here on Thursday as well, but you could definitely tell that they weren't going on a full speed, but honestly still really exciting football to kind of say the least, right? The Arizona Cardinals had a really good showing out, but there was some key notable people that weren't there, right? Budda Baker was in street clothes. I ended up seeing Keitrell Clark in street clothes as well. If you do not know who Keitrell Clark is, he is a cornerback that we ended up drafting last year that started up for the Arizona Cardinals but ended up kind of losing his job, and he's trying to come back he's trying to play for a comeback season, right? He's trying to get that solidified cornerback role, but being where we are at right now with the cornerbacks, it's probably going to be very hard for him to find a starting position. But as of right now, today he wasn't playing. Budda Baker wasn't playing. Both of them were in street clothes. And then Jonathan Gannon also did mention that for Holt wasn't going to be practicing today as well. Now, we did end up seeing Evan Brown, former Lion, that plays guard as well as center, substitute for the Arizona Cardinals at the starting center position when Holt has been ruled out of today's practice. Evan Brown did pretty good, right? He's a guy that plays both, right? He can play center, he can play guard as well. So I love the fact that we have the flexibility of being able to kind of maneuver him around if need be, right? And whenever possible. So he was a guy that was taking the majority of the snaps when we're talking about first team rep type of guys, right? So really excited to kind of see him come out there. Now, I'm really hoping that Holt gets healthy as soon as he possibly can, because we got preseason coming up, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, which is going to be August the 10th, and we can definitely very well use his services for some limited snaps, right? Because I want to see what this offense can do with their fully healthy offensive line heading into the regular season. Now, this kind of segues me into my next kind of topic to talk about, and that is going to be, of course, the media ends up asking Jonathan Gannon, what's the starter situation going to look like here in preseason, right? A big question out there. And honestly, he actually has come out and saying that he would love the starters to have some sort of reps in preseason. But right now, he's kind of left it up in the air. And that's just kind of something that Jonathan Gannon's been doing since he's been the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, right? He's always likes to keep things very close to his chest. And this is no different, right? Now, to me, I do think that there will be very much benefits for the Arizona Cardinals starters to have some sort of limited fashion in preseason. This all kind of comes down to, this is going to be the second year of Drew Petzing, and I ended up hearing Jonathan Gannon on the 98.7 interview after the practice saying that there were some things that Drew Petzing, our offensive coordinator, actually wanted to do in the middle of last year, but he wasn't able to do it because we didn't have enough practice under our belt, right? So this can be the perfect segue for the Arizona Cardinals offense to get the practice that they possibly can, right? As close as regular season football that we can actually get to, this is the best place to get that practice, right? Because you can practice with pads on, but you cannot get close to real game time speed without it mattering, right? Because when you go to the regular season, if that play doesn't work, then that play doesn't work, and it's kind of a big deal, right? So it's a good opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals to get their starters out there for a limited fashion, maybe one series. I don't know. I don't know how Jonathan Gannon's going to shake this out, but it almost kind of seems like it's trending that they will play. I'm not sure if it's going to be all 3 games, but we most likely probably will see the starters in game 1, game 2, game 3, but obviously in very, very limited fashion. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. today was asked if he would like to play in preseason, and this is exactly what he said. Marvin Harrison Jr. said that not only would he like to play in the preseason, he thinks that the college game would benefit from having a preseason game or 2, right? So Marvin Harrison Jr. wants to play, right? It's honestly one of those things where it only benefits the Arizona Cardinals team, right? Offensively, defensively, we need to get some sort of reps that are as close to regular season reps as we possibly can, right? And why the heck not in preseason? So I know the fans would love to see Marvin Harrison Jr. in preseason. I know the fans would love to see Kyler Murray throw a touchdown or a pass or two to Marvin Harrison Jr. in preseason. Like I said, it doesn't need to be a quarter, right? It can be a drive or two, just depending on what preseason game we're playing. But I would love to see them. And honestly, it's still kind of up in the air right now if we are going to be seeing any starters in the preseason. I think yes, but as of right now, TBD per Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, it was unfortunate that we didn't see Budda Baker. One player I would absolutely love to see every time I'm in practice is Budda Baker. He gives his full effort every single time. He doesn't shy away from contact. He's one of those guys that he is all ball, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to see him today, but he definitely was hyping up his defense on the sidelines. But like we mentioned earlier, Budda Baker as well as Keitrell Clark were in street clothes on the sidelines, not participating in regular practice. So there is that. But when it comes down to this Arizona Cardinal offense, I don't know what it is. I've mentioned this name before, Trey Benson, right? 3rd round pick this year for the Arizona Cardinals running back. They are getting so many reps for Trey Benson. It almost kind of seems like they're getting him prepared for a certain workload, maybe in preseason or maybe being that running back 2 guy for the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm not lying to you. I see Trey Benson all the time. Now, he doesn't run with the 1s very often, but he's running with the 2s. He's running with the 3s, right? And when he's running with the 2s and the 3s, he's usually the one getting the ball, right? Even if he's running the ball or catching the ball out of the backfield. Heck, I even seen Trey Benson being used as a punt returner as well. So the Arizona Cardinals are doing everything they can to get as much reps for Trey Benson as they possibly can. And I love it because I like Trey Benson. I really do. I really like the pick that we ended up getting him here in the 3rd round. And honestly, I'm excited to see what he can do for the Arizona Cardinals regular season. But it's very obvious that the Cardinals are trying everything they can to get this man some reps. And honestly, he had a fantastic collegiate career. Why the heck not translate to the NFL, right? And hopefully a running back for the future for the Arizona Cardinals. So there's that. Oh yes, and another guy I want to mention here is Greg Dortch. Obviously, we all love Greg Dortch here in the Bird Gang, and we're all really excited for him to finally get an opportunity, and hopefully he has a big, crucial part on the offensive side of the ball when it comes down to the regular season. But as of right now, TBD. I want to go ahead and highlight a specific report here from Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports, and he says this: Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon had some massive praise for Greg Dortch today. Quote, "The look in his eyes give me confidence." JG added that he saw Dortch make a catch during OTAs that, quote, "was probably one of the top 3 catches I've ever seen in my life," end quote. So really, really high praises here from Jonathan Gannon about Greg Dortch. And honestly, today we've seen Greg Dortch run with the 2s. We've seen him punt return, and we've seen him run with the 1s as well. I think he's going to have a big focal point, especially because it almost kind of feels like in the end of last season, Greg Dortch was the number 1 guy for Kyler Murray, right, when it comes down to wide receivers. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to translate. And honestly, whenever I see him on the field, just gets me pumped up. Now, the whole training camp, it all really focuses down on Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. I promise you, every time Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray, or when Kyler Murray is snapping the ball, everybody kind of stops talking. And they're all focusing on Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. They love the connection. They get the fans, the Bird Gang, super, super excited to really take a look to see what their career can translate to, right, in the NFL, because Marvin Harrison Jr. coming from the collegiate level and now getting a young wide receiver 1 for Kyler Murray, it's really exciting to see. But it's it's a really, really exciting showing. It really is. A lot of fans, they're paying attention to that duo, and they're really excited to see what can be done. But man, we've seen some plays happen here in this training camp today on day 7 that didn't disappoint, right? That didn't disappoint at all. Kyler Murray has had a better game or a better day today compared to the last time that ended up coming around, but like I said, it's really hard to judge when you're getting such limited snaps. And when they are playing on 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s, it usually is like a drive, and they're kind of switching out from the 1s to the 2s to the 3s. So it's really kind of hard to really evaluate Kyler Murray. But honestly, he's looking good. Jonathan Gannon has come out and said that, he's looking good. He's excited about how explosive he's looking, so I'm excited about that. Let's talk about the quarterback competition. I mentioned about that a little earlier in the last video, the whole Desmond Ridder, right? Desmond Ridder versus Clayton Tune, who's going to be QB2. Honestly, every single time I go to training camp, ladies, and I'm not even lying to you, Clayton Tune looks so much better. Clayton Tune looks so much better than Desmond Ridder. I don't know if it's just Desmond Ridder just trying to find his feet with this offense, and obviously Clayton Tune now has a year under his belt, now heading into his year 2 under Drew Petzing. Maybe that might be what it is, but Clayton Tune looks so much better than Desmond Ridder. I don't even know what it is. There was a time where Desmond Ridder had 1 or 2 back-to-back false starts, or it might have been 3 false starts on that offense when Desmond Ridder was on the field. So it almost kind of seems like there's not a big comfortability when it comes down to Desmond Ridder and running this offense. But today I saw Clayton Tune run with the 2s more than the 3s. Last time I was here, it almost kind of seemed like it was a 60-40 right split between who gets the 2s and who gets the 3s. This time around, I think Clayton Tune actually get more involved with the 2s this time around. So that's a breath of fresh air. Now, on that same interview, because I was listening to 98.7 Arizona Sports while coming home to record this video, and Jonathan Gannon was on there, and one of the hosts, John Gambadoro, ended up asking him, because we ended up trading for Desmond Ridder, does he have that soul? Does he have the upper, the upper leg over Clayton Tune? Jonathan Gannon said no. It doesn't matter if they traded for him, right? It doesn't matter where he was picked up, right? They're going to put the best 53 on this roster, right? So it's exciting to see Jonathan Gannon come out and say it doesn't matter that they traded for Desmond Ridder, right? If Clayton Tune looks better, they're going to bring him as QB2. And honestly, what I've seen so far in training camp, Clayton Tune looks so much better than Desmond Ridder. And it might be because of having that year under his belt compared to Desmond Ridder, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad seeing Desmond Ridder. But the Cardinals are acknowledging it because, like I said, before, we're seeing 60-40 split with Ridder having more 2 reps. This time around, it was definitely more favored for Clayton Tune. So definitely very exciting there. Let's move on over to the defensive side of the ball. The biggest thing that I guess I want to talk about is the fact that the cornerbacks, right? We mentioned this before. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. When it comes down to having 2 cornerbacks on the field, it's Sean Murphy-Bunting and Garrett Williams. Those are the 2 cornerbacks on the field. Obviously, when the nickel package comes around, they get more cornerbacks on the field, but they right there seem to be the front runners of CB1 and CB2. Now, for the future, maybe next year, or maybe if there's any injury, yes, Max Melton most likely will be that number 3 guy for the Arizona Cardinals defense. But as of right now, that seems to be the duo that the Cardinals feel confident with, especially if they're running 2 cornerbacks on the defense. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, we did see Darius Robinson here and there, but nothing to the point where, he outshines, a lot of the other defensive players. When you're looking at him on drills, you could tell that this guy has a lot of great mechanics, right? Really, really good motor on him. But when it comes down to actually having him on there, I don't really see a big performance, but I don't blame that on Darius Robinson. I blame that on, training camp, because he can't really do anything. Even if he does have penetration, he needs to slow down because you can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch the running back, right? So it's really hard to evaluate the defensive line when it comes down to your defense, right? I feel like we're going to get a better evaluation in preseason if they do get starting reps, and I really, really do hope we can get those starting reps for the Arizona Cardinals defense. So overall, exciting times. I'm really happy about the Arizona Cardinals training camp at, post day 7. I feel like it's very, very good. Am I bummed out I didn't see Budda Baker? Yes, I'm bummed out, but at the end of the day, I feel like the defense did pretty stout. But obviously, the headlines are, what is Kyler Murray doing? What is Marvin Harrison Jr. doing? And it didn't disappoint at the end of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts here on training camp day 7? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.